You know, I love stream fishing for trout, and Nevada is home to over 600 fishable streams, many of which you'll see down your travels down Highway 50. The reason I enjoy fishing these small streams is because each one requires its own approach and tactic. Whenever I approach a new stream, I always apply some basic principles. One, I always wear a good pair of polarized sunglasses. Two, I always wear drab clothing or clothing that matches my surroundings. And three, always do a slow, low, stealthy approach whenever going up to the edge of a stream. Remember, if you can see those fish, they can see you. So try and stay low, never cast your shadow across those streams or you'll scare those fish off for a mile and limit your success. Bait-wise, you can use just about anything. You can drift a worm, a fly, it doesn't really matter as long as you keep your distance from the edge of that stream, which is why I use a fly rod versus a casting rod. Now what I'm going to be using today is a little bead-headed nymph, which is just a generic form of an insect larva. Remember, whenever it is, if you're using a worm or a fly, or it doesn't really matter, as you drift it down these streams, these fish only have a few seconds to see it before it passes by, so they're going to be aggressive. So you have to be ready whenever they hit it. And that's basically it. So let's go fishing. There, and drift it right underneath these little cuts. And there's a bite. And there's a nice fish. Oh, really nice fish. It looks like we got ourselves a rainbow. Nice one. Wow. That's a pretty decent rainbow for only a 2-foot wide stream at best. This has got to be a 12 to 13-inch fish. I'll tell you what, these streams are full of these kind of fish, which makes it so much fun. I drifted my little bead-headed nymph right underneath this cut here, and they like to hang out there in the shadows looking for bugs drifting by, and he got it. So let's get him back in the water and see what else we can find. All right, oh, there's a tap. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, God, there's a nice one. Oh, come around here. Oh, down the stream it goes. Oh, it's another nice rainbow. Look at that. That's a nice fish. Let's get it released. Well, that was fun. And you can see those were quality fish for a very small stream. What's better yet is you have the whole place to yourself, peace and quiet, and there's 600 plus streams just like this right here in Nevada. So open a map, find one, and check it out. Here at the Sheldon National Wildlife Refuge, you'll find a number of lakes, ponds, and reservoirs like this one that contain bass, crappie, and sunfish. Because they're so remote in the northwestern part of the state, they receive very little pressure, so they're definitely worth exploring. This particular pond is full of reeds, and actually most of them are, and so because of that I brought along a float tube which is going to give me total access to the whole place. In using the float tube, I'm wearing neoprene waders that are very light and thin. It's easy to move around, and I've brought my flippers for getting around. What I'm going to be using today is something called a woolly booger, which comes in a number of colors: black, red, purple, blue. Some will have flashers in them or a beaded head like this one. These represent basically anything from a leech to some type of insect larva, and they're really meant as an attractor just to get fish's attention. And that is basically it. So let's go explore this pond and see what we can find. What I like to do is kind of troll a little bit. Just make sure my line stays tight and then just pull it in little increments. And there's a fish. It feels like it's a little bit better fish too. Yep. Oh, it's a nicer perch. And that fought great. And it inhaled that, that woolly booger, but that little twitching action is what really triggers them to bite. Boy, that one fought really nice for its size. And again, these are wonderful eating fish, and you never know what a pond like this in this remote area of Nevada is going to hold. But I'll tell you what, these are a lot of fun. Let's get this guy unhooked. And I'm fishing, this is a barbless hook, by the way, to make this easy, which is why I've lost a few of the others. Comes right out. Let's get him back in there. That's fun. And there's a fish. Woo! What do we have? Come here, baby. Oh, this little guy loved my red woolly booger, just like those little perch did, which is, I'm sure, what this guy has been feeding on. And there it is. That's what he wants. That's what he went for, this little tiny red woolly booger. So my attractor worked. It's got to be about 1.5 pound bass. And what a lot of fun. That's why I used a fly rod on light line. And it's evening right now. Perfect time. I have the place to myself. It's calm. I'm sure the fish are just going to get started. And I'm sure this big bad boy has been eating perch for dinner. So let's get him back. And remember, there's a whole bunch of ponds just like this one right here in the Sheldon National Wildlife Refuge. So be sure to stop, check them out.